here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? Welcome to the last edition of the 2020 season post-game 49ers Rush podcast. I'm your host, as always, John Chapman. And man, you felt the hope, right? To defeat Seattle with a hobbled team and all the things that happen. And you're sitting there and you're watching this game. Oh, look, we're playing them close. That's great. We've got all these players out. We couldn't even dress the 48. We struggled getting people out there. We had 4 players that have never suited up for an NFL game today get in-game action. And the 49ers not only competed and played really, really well, they go into the fourth quarter and kind of turned on the proverbial jets with CJ Beathard as much as he could turn on a jet. And they put up a fight. They go up. They're up 10 points in the fourth quarter. Stop me if you've heard that before. And then Russell Wilson does what Russell Wilson does. 49ers eventually lose 26-23. But this team came out and punched the Seattle team in the freaking face. And I am here all for it. You want a team that has the expectations that the 49ers have had for a while. And that's Super Bowl. And that's what 2020 was. It didn't take long. Week 2 of the Jets, all the injuries, whatever else. But at no point in this season, ever, did a player lay down, throw a fit, cause a locker room issue, demand to be traded, question about playing time. You didn't hear any of that. Absolutely not. Everybody showed up and put out for this team. I'm proud of this team. The way that they have solidified the foundation of this franchise moving forward even more so. And, you know, you look back to the first couple of years of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, and you're like, man, they're so close. They're so close. They're so close. They finally put it all together last year. They make it to the Super Bowl, lose at the very end. How do they respond? They come out, they responded with injuries, but what's up here and what's in here was never questioned. And you can't question that. The Seattle Seahawks are pissed off at the way that game went. They're not happy with the way that game ended. You saw DK Metcalf frustrated. You saw Jamal Adams leave with an injury, pissed off on the sideline, even though his team's winning. Very frustrated. We out-physically played them from start to finish. But at the end of the day, talent is talent. One team had CJ Beathard, the other one had Russell Wilson. And I think that's the difference in the game. 26-23. You lost by 3 points in this final game. Now, lots of implications. We got questions. We're going to be talking draft. We're going to be talking good and bad, positives, negatives of this game. There's a lot of stuff to get to. And shout out to the Countdown crew. It's strong, man. I'm scrolling for days on here, and I freaking love it. And here's the deal. Today we've got one more opportunity. We're going to be giving away a Nick Bosa signed jersey for our December hashtag Countdown crew. All you have to do, hit that notification bell. We're all year. We're not just a 49ers during the season podcast. It's draft season now, baby. And if you don't know me, that's where I got my start. So we are here to stay. We're still going to be doing podcasts, weekly podcasts, going over draft, breaking down film, doing all that kind of stuff. So all you got to do is hit that notification bell wherever you listen. Hashtag CC in the comments in the first minute and a half, and that enters you into a free giveaway. Next podcast, we're giving away a Nick Bosa jersey, so be here, be ready, get your hashtag CCs in there, and man, let's give away some stuff because that's what we do. It's what we do. Jason says this: frustrating way to lose, but great fight by the boys. I think you're exactly right. You want to win. I don't care if it's checkers you want to win. It's just what it is. You beat whoever the hell it is you line up next to. That's it. This is football. It's competition. And you did that for the most part. Unfortunately, in the end, they came back. Now, what are the implications of this in the draft? Well, currently, and again, we are recording this at 4:33 live, Denver Broncos are still playing. So that game still has some issues with where the 49ers pick. So currently the 49ers pick 12. If the Denver Broncos win, which they're up 7 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, they'll pass us. Because they are one of the only teams in the NFL that have a tougher strength of schedule, which is the tiebreaker in the NFL draft for draft order. We would jump up to 11. Okay? Now, You also have the Washington game. If Washington loses, we would be tied with them record-wise, and we have a tougher strength of schedule, so then they would fall behind us. So it doesn't really matter. The Washington game has no effect on our draft position, just who would pick ahead of us. So, for example, if Washington loses, then the Giants would pick after us, because they would slide into the wild card, and Washington would pick before us. So no matter what happens in that game, it doesn't affect the 49ers draft position. Just do the Giants pick before us, or does Washington pick before us? That's all that matters. So currently, the best case situation is 11. Worst case is 12. So we know kind of where we are. Now, if we would have won this game, we probably would have been picking 16. So it's a 5 to 6 spot thing. And again, I would rather have the win to defeat your division rival than to get the draft spots, but that's just me. Obviously, you can disagree with me, and if you do that, you're probably my wife, and that's okay. No worries. Let's see here. Faithful from birth. John, why the heck are we passing with 2.5 minutes left and 3 timeouts? We had 4 clock stops to use, and we could run it a bit there. Man, when Kyle Shanahan feels pressure, his default is pass at all times. It's just where he goes. Now, you look at the statistics with what we did this game, we didn't run very well. We averaged 3.6 yards per carry. We had 24 rush attempts. Not bad, not great. Yeah, you could have ran the ball a heck of a lot more. But whenever you only trust one guy to run the ball, and that's Jeff Wilson Jr., who played really well, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he had a hell of a game. But it's weird because when the pressure gets on with Kyle Shanahan, he stops throwing it. He didn't throw the ball. He stops running it. All he does is throw the ball. So that's kind of where it is. Let's see here. Rich, yeah, we're sitting at 12 right now in the draft. Could move up to 11 if Denver holds on. Again, 2.5 minutes left, and they have the ball. So it does look like they will beat the Raiders, which would be awesome. And again, you look at what does this signify? Draft position-wise. Why does it matter? Pick 11, pick 12. Who cares? It matters. And especially for my people that are in the, trade up for the quarterback spot, it matters a lot. So just off of the draft pick value chart, whatever, this is based off the Jimmy Johnson trade chart. Now, there's lots of different trade charts that are out there, but believe you me, every single NFL team takes these into consideration when making trades. The 12th pick is worth 1,200 points. The 11th pick is worth 1,250. So there's a 50-point discrepancy between picking 11 and 12. All right, what the hell does that mean? The 50 points is equivalent to pick number 122 or towards the end of the 4th round. So it's like an extra 4th rounder. Just jumping up that one spot, it's like a free 4th rounder. That's the idea behind why these are so important. Now, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And again, we're going to be talking about the draft a whole lot. So believe you me, we're not going anywhere. Weekly show continues. Now, we're not going to be doing 4 times a week and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be spending most of my time on Patreon now. Now, I was on vacation. I got my very first days off since the first week of August this past week, and that's why I kind of been quiet on Twitter and whatever else. Took the family to Colorado. We drove up there and skied. It was awesome. We had a great time. It was the only vacation that I could think of staying outside and away from people in this whole Corona thing. And so we got our own little place. We stayed away from everybody, skied. It was awesome. Now, back to Patreon. If you're a draft person, now's the time. Now's the time. You've got nothing but draft content coming out nonstop over there. Head to patreon.com, 49ers Rush Podcast. I only got one video up last week, but believe you me, over the next 3 weeks, you're going to be bombarded. You're going to get plenty of content. Trust me. Brad, I appreciate the kind words. He says, love your show, John. Best 49ers podcast there is. I appreciate that. And there's a lot of good podcasts out there. So I think that's worth something, and I appreciate that very, very much. Now, a couple other questions. Let's see here. Delta, what's up, John? CJ isn't the answer for the backup position. Man, I 100% agree with you there. CJ ain't it. Did CJ play well enough for the 49ers to win? Yes, because he didn't turn the ball over until he did, right? You go back to kind of the whole Nick Mullins, everything else. The reason why Nick Mullins was such a failure, Nick Mullins could move the ball way better than CJ Beathard could. But Nick Mullins had 2+ turnovers. He averaged 2.5 turnovers a game. That's not how you win. You don't turn the ball over. And CJ Beathard had one turnover, and, it was a sack against Justin School, who's a backup left tackle. Stop me if you've heard this before. The 49ers are hurting everywhere. Trent Williams, the 2 games that Trent Williams didn't play, Justin School filled in at left tackle and sabotaged the offense. Not so much this week. School actually played relatively well. Just at the very end, kind of got him at the end. Most of the sacks and pressures that the 49ers offense had, Mike McGlinchey had a pretty damn good game. But they were against CJ Beathard. He cannot process reads. He can't do it. It missed George Kittle wide open in the end zone. Play before missed Ross Dwelly wide open in the end zone. He doesn't process. He doesn't see the field. If his first read's not there, he's going to lock on. He's going to wait. He's going to take a hit. But you don't get mad at CJ Beathard. It's not a CJ Beathard issue. How many teams are going to win games with their third quarterback? It doesn't happen. You watch any of the Arizona Cardinals game, as soon as Kyler Murray left in the first quarter, that game was over. He was out. He came back, and then it was somewhat competitive, but you lose your quarterback, you're not a good football team. Now, you look at the Chiefs, they were able to move the ball relatively well. Even the Rams, they moved the ball well with their backup, but you're down to your third string. Come on, guys. That's not what it is. I'm ready to be done with CJ. I'm ready to be done with Nick. I want to upgrade the quarterback position dramatically. Does that mean get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo? No, absolutely not. He works. he fits. And, let's talk about this, because the morning started out with a report from Chris Mortensen, which, humble brag here. Chris Mortensen follows me on Twitter. You should too. Probably one of my favorite things. I've been a big Mort fan ever since I was a kid, and he used to always do the Sports Center stuff. I don't know why he follows me. He must have let his kid play with his device for a day, but I appreciate it. But the idea is this. Here's the quote, and I want to read this to you. Most league insiders believe the 49ers will move on from Jimmy Garoppolo if there's a better option. Yeah, duh. Who doesn't want to get better at every single position? Kyle Shanahan said this exact same thing. Every single position we look to upgrade from. Now, is there something better out there than Jimmy Garoppolo? Some of you guys are screaming yes into your computer screens or cell phones now, and that's fine. Then you have to get into the financials. Then you have to get into the compensation. Then you have to get into the draft picks. And it's not as simple as go get this guy. You can't do that, even if it's a draft pick. If you use your first round pick, which is the 12th or the 11th pick, we'll find out here soon. We'll stay live for sure until this game's over. Watch it go to overtime. I hope it does. Man, we'll stay live. We'll talk all day. But if you use your first round draft pick on a quarterback, that's great. I'm not saying don't do that. I would prefer to do that if one falls. That takes away a starting cornerback or a starting center or a starting defensive edge player to fit in where D Ford will be gone. You don't have abundant resources to where you can do that. The 49ers do have 9 draft picks. We only have 2 in the top 100. So you're kind of front heavy you're back heavy with 5th rounders and 7th rounders. You don't have a 3rd. You've got a 1st and 2nd. Do the 49ers have the position, can they move around the draft board? Yes. Can the 49ers trade up into the top 3 and get one of those QBs that you've just fallen in love with? Probably not. And because this isn't a rebuilding team, you don't want to do that. So, are they going to try, the 49ers front office, try to upgrade their quarterback position? Yes, they should. I hope that they do. But does that mean they're going to replace Jimmy? Absolutely not. I would say even if you do bring in somebody like a Matthew Stafford, you bring in whatever, Matt Ryan, doesn't matter. I still think that you keep Jimmy Garoppolo. Why not upgrade the entire position room? That way you have a true 1 and a 2 so that if something does go wrong, because Jimmy's number one concern, it's not the deep ball, even though that's really high on the list, it's staying healthy. It's staying healthy. That's what it is. What is 26-9 as a starting quarterback? Good God. But he's missed 33 games. That's the problem. The best ability is availability. They showed the stat during the game. Since Russell Wilson was drafted in 2012, he started every single damn game. Every damn game. The 49ers have had 7 different quarterbacks in that time. That's not going to cut it. You've got to change something. Anyway, Jose said he's not mad at all. Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet. This one has a silver lining because we weren't going to the playoffs already, and our draft position is improved dramatically. So that's good. You like that. But again, yeah, I'm with you. Not mad, but damn, I wanted that win. I want to beat Seattle. I want to beat them at everything. I want to destroy that team no matter what. And it doesn't really matter who we play, but against the Cowboys and against Seattle, those teams. Now, the one thing I will take solace in, guess who's not in the playoffs? The Arizona freaking Cardinals, baby. They're not in. Why are they not in? Because of us. And I love it. I love it. Now, if you look at, let's say hypothetically, the 49ers didn't beat Seattle or didn't beat Arizona, last week. They would have been 5-11. We would have been picking spot 9 or 10. It changes very, very little, but we knocked that team out. And I love that. You take solace in that. You knocked that team out of the playoffs. It's freaking awesome. What's up, Ben? All the way from Australia. I love it. Good game, great positivity for next season. That's right. You're laying the foundation, stepping stones on where to go. I love it. I love it. I'm nobody you need to know. The irony that the defense kept them in it for 3 quarters, then blows the game in the 4th. Offense actually did better than we thought they did in the 4th. Yeah, the score in this game was 6-9. Nice. In the 4th quarter. Then both teams just go off. Russell Wilson always does that in the 4th quarter. 49ers usually don't. But the 49ers put up some points there. 26-23. I mean, they put it on. And you got to talk about the defense, man. Probably the high point of the game was Akello Witherspoon getting up in DK Metcalf's face, talking that trash, baby. Now, my stance on Akello has been, I haven't changed. I haven't wavered. He's played great. 3 games in a row. He's played amazing. Does he have the talent? It's never been in question. Akello Witherspoon, 6'3", amazing soccer level fluidity with his hips and footwork coming out of Colorado. He was a high ceiling pick, but it wasn't in here. And again, 3 games were great. I remember 4 years. He got beat for the touchdown, which I don't even put it on him. Just a crossing route man coverage. We brought a 6-man blitz that didn't get to Russell Wilson. Actually got there, but he was backpedaling and just threw a freaking strike off his back foot, whatever. But again, do you remember the 3 last games? Recency bias? Do you remember 4 years? Where do you fit on that? Me personally, I hope that he gets signed for a lot of money somewhere else and starts, and we get a comp pick for him. That would be best case situation. That'd be the best. But he did play a hell of a game. Now, is he good versus, and again, he has a type that he has success with. It's the bigger physical wide receivers like DK. He can play those guys. Against smaller Tyler Lockett, not so much. He has to go against those bigger guys. But he did. He played very, very well. And, man, you got to stay with it. Spoon, baby. Back this week for another episode. Our sponsor, Magic Spoon, the best cereal. Oh, my gosh. Here we go. Real quick word from our sponsor, then some more questions. Whenever I was a kid, one of my favorite things to do was to go to the grocery store with my mom. She would finally turn us loose, me and my brothers and sisters, on the cereal aisle, and we could all pick one for ourselves. It was incredible. It was like Christmas, but shopping. And as kids, you always went after the most sugar-laden, unhealthy cereal imaginable to mankind. But we all grow up. Cereal is still a major part of my life. I love cereal very, very much. But now there's a product that gives you that same incredible great taste that you grew up loving, but that's healthy. Listen to these numbers. And again, keep in mind that these numbers go with great taste. 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein. You can't find another cereal that does that. Only 3 net grams of carbs. And they have 4 amazing flavors. This is magicspoon.com I'm talking about. I love this product. I love this company. They have cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. Taste amazing. But above that, it's healthy for the whole family. My wife, my 12-year-old, my 17-year-old, myself, we've all tried this product, and they all love it. We all have different favorites. This is one of the ways that you increase healthy living to your family lifestyle without sacrificing flavor. Whenever you hear these words, which all these are true for Magic Spoon, keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, GMO-free. You think, yeah, it's probably going to be pretty gross. Well, get this. This company, big reason why I agreed to allow them to sponsor our podcast. I don't work with any company. 100% happiness guarantee. You try their product, you don't like it, 100% refund, no questions asked. What do you have to lose? And if you use our promo code 49ERS, you get free shipping straight to your door. You don't even have to go to the grocery store. The cereal comes to you, baby. So head to magicspoon.com/49ers and make sure you use the promo code 49ers whenever you check out for free shipping. That's magicspoon.com/49ers. Thank you for sponsoring this project. What are you doing? Go get some cereal for you and your family. Trust me, you will thank me later. Oh, guys. As I'm sure some of you guys are watching this, the Raiders go down, score a freaking touchdown, down 1 point with 24 seconds left. They decide to go for 2, and they get it. Damn you, Raiders. Duh. So there are 24 seconds left. Currently, Denver is down 1 point. So if that holds, the 49ers will stay at that 12 spot. If somehow Denver can get downfield, they have no timeouts, 24 seconds left, we'll stay at that 12 spot. But if they can score just a field goal, we'll jump up 1 spot. So we'll have to see. I'll keep you guys up to date. Man, I thought that the Broncos had that. The Denver Broncos. Man. Robert. So sick of losing to the Seahawks. Can't stand Wilson's face or Carroll's face. I am with you 100%. I hate that team. I hate that fan base. And I don't use that word very often. I hate that team. I really, really do. I know a couple people from Seattle, and, we can have a healthy conversation. But they're the anomaly. There aren't fan bases that are like ours, where obviously there are some knuckleheads in the faithful as well, but where people can actually have an honest conversation about their team and what's going on and be able to address some of those things that they do well or that they do bad and things like that. I'm with you. Drew, he asked this. Do you think we take defensive end Gregory Rousseau or Duke's Chris Rumpf in the draft? He has single-handedly dismantled Miami this season. Now, you're talking about edge position. And I love it, man, because there's a lot of guys that I really, really like there. Gregory Rousseau, you look at the big board ranking where he is. The consensus from a bunch of different draft sites is right around 15, where the 49ers picking 12. It fits perfectly. 6'5", 260 pounds outside of Miami. Yeah, I freaking love it. The position, value matches up big time. Every single first pick the 49ers have made since John Lynch has shown up has been on defense or offensive linemen. And again, this goes back. Do you go after a quarterback if a quarterback's there? I think you do. Or if they're not there, which is a strong possibility, or there's a quarterback that you don't like. Not everybody likes Trey Lance. He's probably going to be one of the 4 that falls. I think Justin Fields, he had a hell of a game. His bowl game was amazing, and I think that increases his value, but you don't go off of one game. You got to look at every game and how he's played. He's been great. I'm not saying he's not great, but you don't want to shoot him that far up your draft boards if you didn't have him there before that game already. But Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, those guys are gone in the top 6. Top 7, they're gone. If one of them slips to top 8, now you can talk about trading up from 12. Right? You want to trade up from 12 to 8. You look at the positional value and what that costs. It's going to cost you about, what is that? About 250 points. That's a 3rd round pick. We don't have a 3rd round pick. So now you're talking about a 2nd round pick next year. Would I trade a 1st round pick and a 2nd round pick next year for the quarterback of the future? Yes, if that's what Kyle Shanahan sees as his team. Quick update. Somehow the Broncos got past midfield. There are 9 seconds left. It is 2nd and 5. I think they're about to attempt a long field goal. They're sending them out there, man. If they're at the 45, this is fun, baby. For all of those who, were with me during my hot mic time last year, which I really enjoyed, doing the play-by-play and all the calling and all that stuff before the NFL stepped in and shut us down. That was a lot of fun. I wish we could do something like that again. I just can't afford the attorney fees versus the NFL. So this is a 63-yard field goal about to happen for the Denver Broncos. It's down, kick is up, and it's blocked. Damn you. We're in 2021. Come on now. That looks like it's going to be a final there. So the 49ers are going to be picking 12. It seems like that was hilarious. I don't know. I got my sound off, so Gruden looks pissed off, so we'll have to see what happens. Maybe they'll re-kick it, but I doubt it. It looks like that's going to do it. Now, a couple other questions I want to get to. John, this is from Kevin. What do you think of trading back if none of the 4 quarterbacks are available at 11 and get a center? I freaking love it. Creed Humphrey from OU. I absolutely love. He would be a perfect fit. Our entire run game, passing game would be elevated immediately. Plus, you would be getting a lot of picks. One of my favorite things about this front office is how they manipulate the draft board. Look last year. You're picking at 13, you drop back 1 spot, get the guy you want. Then you trade up from the second round or at the very end of the first round to go get the guy you want. I love that. So yeah, let's say you fall back from 11 to 16. Right? To get your center. So you fall back from 11 to 16. And let's just play, or 12 to 16, sorry. You know what those numbers are. Again, that's about 200 points. You might be able to pick up an extra, late third, early fourth. Get your center, and then you can use that pick to, leverage and get back up into the first round or trade up into the second round. Because currently, if we are picking 12th, we're picking 12th in the first round and 44 pick overall in round 2. So you've got 2 top 50 picks. Pick 44, who knows? Somebody falls into that second round, you want to jump up and get them? I love it. I have been screaming up the interior offensive lineman draft tree forever. But guess how many draft picks have been used on an interior offensive lineman since John Lynch showed up? 0. He hasn't drafted 1. Not 1. Not in the 7th round, not in the 6th round, not in the 5th round. He doesn't do it. I don't know why they don't value that position when we continually get abused at that position. Now, I think Daniel Brunskill's played great. Colton McKivitz got the start today. I thought he had another great game. I got to go back and watch some of the film there, but he played well. Is he the answer? I don't know. I don't know that. Let's see here. Thomas, if we pick 11, which we're at 12 now, do you think we'll be able to pick Trey Lance? I think that's about where he's going to fall. Some teams are going to have Trey Lance as their number 3 QB. Some teams are going to have Trey Lance off their draft board completely. Where's Kyle Shanahan going to fall on this? I don't know. You look at the conversation that he has with Jimmy Garoppolo. He says repeatedly, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get better the more he plays. Well, guess what? Trey Lance hasn't played but 1 game this year. I don't know. Not because of injury, but just because the Missouri Valley Conference canceled their season, basically. Dante Pettis killed the Cowboys. He did, and I love it. I'm not one of those people that gets bitter. Dante Pettis didn't work out here. It was so thankful that he moved on for the franchise, for the locker room, and for himself. No ill will. I hope that Dante Pettis gets a huge contract and starts with the Giants and has a 10-year career. I think that'd be amazing. I have no ill will. He's not a bad person. He just didn't pan out because, again, Akello syndrome. Between the years, he just didn't have it here. Maybe the coaching, whatever, doesn't matter. It just didn't work. I hope he does well. No ill will there whatsoever. Now, a couple other things that I wanted to talk about that I really, really did like. I was on a podcast this morning in Atlanta talking about Robert Saleh. And because they have a head coach vacancy, what's that look like? Robert Saleh going over his background and what he's good at, what he's bad at. Dude put on a clinic today. Robert Saleh, we just experienced our last game with Robert Saleh. He's gone. And it's a good thing. Yeah, I think it is a good thing. Obviously, I wish we could keep him. No doubt about that. But we are set currently at the best place in NFL history to lose the defensive coordinator as a head coaching candidate. We get 2 third-round picks, one this year, one next year. They're comp picks, so they're going to be towards the back of the 3rd round. But still, that's huge. You guys that are saying trade up for a quarterback, that's enough. Let me see here. Let me open my chart. I don't want to misspeak. You're talking about pick 100. That's enough to move from 12 to number 10. That pick alone, probably not enough. It'll jump you up 1 or 2 spots. So if somebody does fall, who knows? That can help you out. Or you just stay in the 3rd round and take that pick. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. The 49ers seem to be allergic to 3rd-round picks because we haven't used one in freaking forever. But we get too anxious in the 1st and 2nd round. We need to show a little bit more patience. But Robert Saleh was incredible this year in everything he did. We'll have to wait for the numbers to come out and kind of see where he fits or where the 49ers fit with everything and where their defensive ranks are. But we finished as a top 10 defense with all those guys out. All those guys. Nick Bosa, D Ford, Solomon Thomas, a little bit less so. Didn't have Drake Greenlaw today. Richard Sherman. K'Wan Williams is out. Jaquiski Tart. The list goes on and on. Daniel Mosley. We had a lot of guys out. Kevin Givens not playing today. Kinlaw's out. Good gosh. The numbers that we've had 43 players on IR this year. 43. Last year we went to the Super Bowl, we had 16. 43 this year. Now, I know the IR rules changed. We had a couple of players that almost wound up on the IR twice in one season, but you're not allowed to do that. One of my favorite pictures of the whole game, it wasn't when they were filming the players on the field. It's when they pan to the press box during the middle of the broadcast, and you see just a litany of Pro Bowlers and all pros hanging out in the 49ers press box because they're all injured. Jimmy G and Sherman and Debo and Ayuk and Trent Williams and Nick Bosa. You just go on and on and on. So glad that damn year is over. 2021 is here. And I think good things are ahead. I really, really do. And, one of the bright spots of 2020 that I can say, and again, if you're one of the people that have bet with us, hopefully you did as well as we did. Whenever I talk about a bet on here, I put my money on it. I've quadrupled. I don't know what 5 times is. I've 5 times my betting, and I only bet $5 or $10. That's it. For every single bet I talk about or I tweet out, it's $5 or $10. I started with $50. I emptied out the account from last year, had $50 in there, and it's shot up. And I just want to say thank you to my bookie. I want to put some playoff bets out there, and of course draft stuff. Draft betting is probably my favorite thing just because it's an extra paycheck. But anyway, real quick word from our sponsor, MyBookie, who have been so loyal all year. Just want to say thank you to them. Every sports fan knows it's not about how you start the season, it's about how you finish. And MyBookie 2020 finishes strong with NFL, college football, and the return of NBA action. Sign up today to receive a halfway deposit match up to $1,000. And while you're at it, ring in the holidays with 6 days of giveaways. You heard it here first. From December 21st all the way up to December 26th, MyBookie's hooking players up with free bets, free casino chips, and free blackjack tournaments with huge cash prizes. And it's all week long. To get in the action, it's simple. Sign up, make your first deposit, and enter the promo code 49ers, 49ERS, to claim your bonus and start taking advantage of all these freebies. Head over to MyBookie to discover this year's batch of fun on-site promotions and win big with 6 days giveaway this holiday season. Bet with the best. Bet with MyBookie. All right. A couple other questions. And again, I love these, and it lets me know how informed the freaking listenership is. Sean, who do we find a replacement for in the first round? Richburg or Ford? You see these 2 prominent positions, center or defensive end, which we've already kind of talked about. Another question goes on to basically ask this. John, what do you think about taking a cornerback like Patrick Surtain II in the first round instead of reaching for a quarterback? That's the thing. You notice we have so many needs to be addressed. The 49ers don't have a lot of cap room. We've got some, but not a lot. If you look at 2021 and where the cap space is, the 49ers are actually up there pretty big. We've currently, the numbers have been increased over on Spotrac, but currently, we're all the way up to number 2. Now, the problem with that is the second most cap space. We only have 34 players signed going into next year currently. You've got to bring back a lot of guys. You've got to. And because of that, you're not going to be able to bring in a lot of free agents, especially high-priced starter free agents. You can bring in some depth. Again, we only have 2 picks in the top 100. You're going to trade up for a quarterback. Now you're not addressing one position of need in the draft. You're going to have holes at corner. You're going to have holes at edge. You're going to stay with what you have at center. Just not sure that's the route to go. And we're going to spend a lot of time diagramming this, and we'll go through free agency and all those things. But I want to say thank you because this has been an awesome year for the 49ers Rush podcast. We've hit a lot of new milestones. I don't even know how many people are currently listening across all platforms. Just live, I'm seeing 392 currently, which is awesome. And I just want to say thanks. It's been a hell of a year. It definitely didn't meet the standard that we all set for our team or that they set for themselves. But it's been an awesome year. The community grows. And man, 49ers Rush podcast, not only are we not going anywhere, I'm trying to elevate. And as this season draws to a close, it's time for me to kind of evaluate. If you have some ideas, concerns, whatever, hit me up. Open ears. This is your podcast. Every adjustment we have made through 4 years now, it's been because people have suggested it. I'm not an idea guy. I'm a football guy. But whenever somebody says, man, it'd be cool if you could do this, I'm going to try to figure it out. It's a one-man show, unfortunately, so I can't do everything, but I'm going to damn well try. So reach out to me, 49ers Rush Podcast at gmail.com if you got some ideas, some stuff that you would like in the podcast or something along those lines. That'd be great. Or Twitter, at JL_Chapman. I'm here for you guys. I love you guys. This is an incredible year, but we're not going away. This isn't farewell. I'm going to see you later this week because we got another podcast, and we're going to keep rolling. I'm going to take a couple days off, drink a couple beers, but it's draft time. Oh, man. Draft time. I know everybody loves Christmas. I get that. I have kiddos. Draft is my Christmas. And guess what? 100. You ready for this? Are you ready? I already have a countdown. 116 days until April 29th. The first round of the NFL draft in Cleveland. If COVID's done or somewhat mitigated or whatever, I'm going to be there. If not, I want to be here wherever I am. Draft content is here to stay. I freaking love you guys and girls. Y'all are incredible. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate everything. And as always, stay strong, faithful.